Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Bellevue Bruins Sports Network. This afternoon, coming to you live from the Gordon Lozier Athletic Center on the campus of Bellevue University in Bellevue, Nebraska. More exciting NAIA basketball coming your way. A women's and men's doubleheader between the home team Bellevue University and the visiting University of Jamestown Jimmies. Good afternoon, everyone. Mick Krupski and Julian Rivera here to bring you the exciting basketball. Women's match first, men's to follow, as the Bruins and the Jimmies get ready to lock horns on the basketball floor. The Bellevue University Bruins a doubleheader sweep yesterday against Valley City State University. The women and men both taking care of their opponents last night, hoping to do the same this afternoon. The women's game first. The women face a tough task, as they did last night. The Bruins knocked off number 19 Valley City State. On the agenda today is number 6 rated Jamestown University. So the Bruins hoping to keep that momentum that they started last night in the win over Valley City into tonight's contest against the Jimmies. Julian, we saw a great game, a great doubleheader yesterday. The Bruins coming away with wins. Let's talk about the women's game first. We saw the Bruins get the lead in the third quarter and able to put up some points, outscoring Valley City State 39-29 in the second half for the victory.
Yeah, it was a great game by Bellevue. I mean, after they were down 9 and they hit those 2 3-pointers in the last minute and a half, we really saw a huge energy boost from the Bruins bench and all their players on the floor, and that's when you really saw the transition of coming back and really battling to try to win the game, and they did.
Senior Riley McCartney with 22 points leading the way, her career high in her second year at Bellevue, 5 out of 6 from three-point line. She was the key offensive player for the Bruins. Great defense by the entire Bruin team yesterday against Valley City State. We turn the page on that one and focus our attention now on the University of Jamestown Jimmies. Bellevue coming in with the win last night, 9-9, now 3-2 in fourth place in the North Star Athletic Association. The visiting Jimmies are 16-2 on the season. They lead the conference at a perfect 5-0. They're tied for the number 6 spot in the NAIA Coaches Top 25 poll in Division II. Let's take a look at these two teams. Will be action. Tip-off will come up in about 4 minutes or so. First of all, for the home team, Bellevue University Bruins, 38% shooters from the floor, 30% from three-point land, 66% from the free throw line as a team. Julian, who are the leading individual scorers for the home team Bruins?
For Bellevue, we have Alexis Martinez with averaging 12.1 points a game, Lee Curtis with 10.8, and Riley McCartney with 10 points a game. As far as assists go, we have Lee Curtis in second with 2.7 assists per game. Shayla Dean's leading the team with 3.1, and following that is Jamie Winkler with 1.7. With discussing rebounds, we have Lee Curtis leading the team with 8.2, then follows Beth Walker with 6.3, and right after that is Alexis Martinez with 5.2.
Talking to several people before today's game, talking about last night's game, many of them said that was the best all-around game the Bruins have played in their short 1.5-year history. Bruins will need an effort like that tonight against the Jamestown Jimmies. Talking to head coach Dave Denley, he said that defense will decide this one. If the Bruins can play good defense, especially stopping the guard position for Jamestown, the Bruins have a chance to pull back-to-back upset specials in the conference. The Jimmies did not play last night, so they have fresh legs. They're coming into this one after winning both games in the Sioux City Holiday Tournament, defeating GPAC teams Briar Cliff and then Morningside. Morningside tied for number 6 with Jamestown in the NAIA Top 25. As a team, Jamestown shoots 41% from the floor, 35% from three-point land, and 68% from the line. Julian, who are some of the leaders for Jamestown?
All right. For points a game, we have Brian Woodside with 14.1, followed by Paige Emmel with 13.2, and Michaela Orr with 10.3. With assists, leading the team hugely is Brian Woodside with 80 assists so far this season, followed by Michaela Orr with 30, and then by Emma Storr with 25. With rebounds a game, we have Marina Nowak with 5.3, Jenna Doyle with 5.1, and Paige Emmel with 3.9.
Coach Denley Noted that Bryn Woodside is the player to stop. She leads the way for Jamestown with scoring and assists, and she's an all-around player. She was a second-team all-conference player last year. He described her as probably the top player in conference to this point in the 2017-18 season. So she'll be a primary focus today for the Bruins defense. Last year, the Jimmies finished 15-1. in winning the North Star Conference. They had a long, I believe it was 36-game winning streak in conference that was finally broken last year toward the end of the season. And let's see how the Bruins will fare today. Bruins the preseason number 3 in conference. The Jimmies the preseason number 1. The Jimmies right now number 1 at 5-0. Bellevue in 4th place at 3-2. This would be a huge victory for the Bruins if they can pull it off this afternoon. Teams have concluded their warm-ups. The Jimmies will be dressed in white uniforms today. They'll be on the right side of your screen with orange and black trim. The home team Bruins will be in their purple uniforms with gold and white trim. Let's turn it over to Bryce Kelly, PA announcer, as we get ready for our national anthem.
Let's meet the starting lineups. Beginning with the starters for the Jimmies of Jamestown. At guard, a 5'3" senior from Bellevue, Minnesota. Number 3, Bryn Woodside. At guard, a 5'4" senior from Swansea, North Dakota. Number 5, Michaela Ford. At center, a 6'3" junior from Princeton, Minnesota. Number 21, Jenna Doyle. At forward, a 5'8" senior from Bismarck, North Dakota. Number 22, Paige Emil. And forward for the Jimmies, a 6-foot junior from Pierre, South Dakota. Number 35, Jory Mullen. Jamestown is coached by Greg Ulan in his 8th season. He's assisted by Andrew Crummy and Amy Joseph. And now let's meet the starters for the Bellevue University Bruins. At guard, a 5'4" junior from Missouri, Iowa. Number 3, Shayla. At forward, a 5'9" senior from Bellevue, Iowa. Number 5, Beth Rumble. At forward, 5'11" freshman from Omaha, Nebraska. Number 12, Alexis Martinez. At forward, a 5'11" junior from Lakeville, Minnesota. Number 22, Morgan Gus. And at guard, a 5'10" senior from Blackman, Kansas. Number 42, Riley McCartney. Silver is coached by Dave Denny in his 2nd season. He's assisted by James Benford and Julian Floyd.
All right, thanks once again to Bryce, the PA announcer today, for the starting lineups. We'll give them to you again. Sometimes it's hard to hear over the crowd noise. For the visiting Jamestown Jimmies, it'll be Bryn Woodside, Michaela Orr, Jenna Doyle, Paige Emil, and Jory Mullen, the starting 5 for head coach Greg Ulan, now in his 8th season at the helm. Andrew Crummy and Amy Joseph, his assistants. For the home team Bruins, it'll be Shayla Dean, Beth Walker, Alexis Martinez, Morgan Cuff, and Riley McCartney, the starting 5 today for head coach Dave Denley. His assistants are James Benford and Jillian Flores. So a little bit different look to the Bruins starting lineup. Lee Curtis not in the starting lineup here, but we'll see when she makes her entry. 10 minutes on the board for the opening quarter, ready to tip it off. And again, if you would like to be part of our broadcast, we invite you to send along a text message to Julian and me, 402 515-7654. We'll give that to you again when we get a break in the action. Jimmy's control the opening tip. Bringing it up court is Bryn Woodside. Bruins with the guard weave at the top. Drive to the basket. The pass inside. Knocked away by Morgan Cuff. Here's Woodside. She's stuffed by Cuff, but Woodside gets the shot back. Still 12 seconds left on the shot clock as the ball has not yet touched the rim. The drive by Orr. The kick out pass. Cuff ties it up. A jump ball possession arrow goes to the Bruins. So Bellevue, a great job on the defensive end on first possession.
Yeah, that's a great job by Bellevue. It seems like their defense from yesterday's game has transitioned into this one so far. We'll see if they can carry out for the rest of the game.
Shayla Dean brings the ball across the timeline. Harried there on defense by Woodside over to Riley McCartney. McCartney launches the three, a little bit short on that attempt. The ball goes out of bounds over near where the Bellevue men's team is looking on in anticipation of their game in about 2 hours from now. So neither team able to score in their first possession. Here come the Jimmies with the basketball once again. Jory Mullen and Bryn Woodside. Woodside guarded by Beth Walker. Walker did a great job on defense last night. She'll get the steal, knocking it away. So the first turnover, courtesy of the defense of Beth Walker, the senior graduate. Former volleyball player, now basketball player. Morgan Cuff with the lane to the basket, but she misses the layup on the right side and then commits the foul as the rebound pulled down by Michaela Orr. Cuff had a good look, just couldn't get it on the right angle off the glass. 1 minute into this, each team fails on their first two offensive possessions. Woodside with the basketball, she and Orr, the backcourt tandem for the Jimmies. Orr with it in front of the Bruin bench. Now reversing to the left side, back to Woodside. Expect her to handle the ball quite a bit in today's game. Looked inside again, the Bruins get hands on the pass inside. They can't get the steal, but Riley McCartney did a nice job knocking it away. A little runner in the lane, that one short, but Woodside will get her old rebound and a new 30-second shot clock on the scoreboard. Again, Jimmy's in the white uniforms. Usually that's the home color, but on this one, it's the Jimmies in white, the Bruins in purple. Baseline drive is no good. Shayla Dean will pick up the foul, however, as a drive to the basket by Michaela Orr will result in the first two free throws of the game. First personal foul, second team foul against the Bruins. Michaela Orr at the free throw line. First free throw is no good. Orr, a 68% free throw shooter. She averages over 10 points per game, off the mark on that one. Second free throw again short, but the offensive rebound once again pulled down by Paige Emmel. And the third time that the Jimmies will have a chance to put points on the board in this series. Drive inside, Alexis Martinez almost with the steal. Bellevue with good defense. Here's a shot by Woodside, and she able to knock it down for the first points of the game. Woodside, the senior from Albert Lee, Minnesota. 2-0, Jimmy's on top. 2 minutes and 20 seconds have elapsed in this one. Here's Morgan Cuff again with a drive to the basket. Help out defense, and again, Cuff can't get it to go. First one a little too high, that one a little bit too low. Here's Woodside hustling down court. Walker cuts off her path to the basket. Emmel working the outside. The shot from Emmel, no good. Over the back is going to be called against Jenna Doyle. Alexis Martinez had great position inside. Doyle tried to go over the top, but a foul is called. Doyle at 6'3", the tallest player on the floor. Beth Walker brings it up court. She's harassed near the timeline. It'll remain Bruin basketball as Michaela Orr trying to stop her progress on defense. Bellevue to inbound the basketball. Shayla Dean makes herself available. She'll drive the give to Martinez. Alexis with the left hand up and in. Alexis Martinez with the Bruins' first basket off a nice assist from Shayla Dean.
Great look there by Shayla, drawing in the defenders and dishing it off to the wide open Alexis Martinez.
Drive to the basket. Martinez knocks it out of bounds off the drive by Michaela Orr. Bruins, solid job on defense thus far against the number 6 rated team in the NAIA Division II top 25. We've got an injury for one of the Jimmies hobbling over to the bench. Looks like that's Michaela Orr. Looks like she's twisted an ankle. She'll get some medical attention as into the game comes Allison Jablonski. Looks like she's favoring that left ankle. Makes her way back to the Jamestown bench where she'll get looked at by the trainers. Jablonski just into the game with the basketball, now to the top of the key. Here's Woodside trying to drive against Dean. She has her cut off at the top of the key. The shot from about 6 feet off the back iron, tipped out of bounds. It will be Jimmy's basketball. Oh, Jimmy's crashing the offensive glass pretty hard in the early going. Paige Emmel looking for a teammate. 4, 5, just in time before the 5-second call. Woodside drive, she's cut off. Here's the inside drive by Mullen. Outside, three-point shot on the way. It's no good. Couple of Jimmies crash into each other. Shayla Dean with the basketball. The Bruins a 2-on-1 break. Good hustling defense to get back by Jory Mullen, but the Bruins have the basketball. And a officials timeout on the floor. Not sure why, but that allows Lee Curtis an opportunity to come into the game, replacing Morgan Cuff. So first substitute in the game for the Bruins. Lee, the senior from Denham Springs, Louisiana, inbounds to Shayla Dean. Curtis with the basketball in front of Coach Greg Hewlin. Now to Walker at the top of the key. Uses the screen from Martinez. Walker with the shot. It's in. Beth Walker hits her first shot of the night, and the Bruins have a 4-2 lead at the 6:10 mark of the first quarter. Bellevue looking to try to get upset specials on back-to-back days this weekend against top two teams in the North Star Athletic Association. Jimmy's working the basketball. Here's the drive to the basket. Help out defense, but that leaves the defender down low. The basket scored by Jenna Doyle, but a nice assist on the drive left side. 4-4 our score, 5:45. Martinez tries to drive baseline against two defenders. Can't get a good shot off. The rebound pulled down by Doyle. The Jimmys on the run. Three-point shot from the top of the key. Rattles and drops in the basket by Paige Emmel. And a 7-4 lead for Jamestown. Bruins back on offense, man-to-man defense. Shown by the Jimmys here. Walker hit her last shot, takes another one. She's fouled in the act. Beth will go to the free throw line to shoot two. Foul is called on Allison Jablonski. Her long ponytail covering up the back of her uniform number. The official had to walk halfway around the court to see the front of her jersey to let the scoring table know what her number was. Beth Walker hits the first free throw. Walker, the former volleyball player, played 4 years primarily as the setter for the Bruin volleyball squad. Now has some basketball eligibility left. This will be her final year in a Bruin uniform. 75% shooter from the line. Over 7 points per game. Gets the rebound but can't get the shot from short. The Bruins have missed a couple of easy bunnies near the basket in this opening stanza. Jimmys lead it by 2. 7-5 our score at the 5-minute mark of the first quarter. Emmel launches off the mark there. Battle for the rebound. Walker gets control of it after a nice tip out by Lee Curtis underneath. Here's Lee with the basketball. Raising her fist, trying to set up a play. Goes behind Martinez. Now out to Dean. Dean drives, gets around defenders, but doesn't have a shot underneath. Tiptoes staying in bounds. Alexis from near the free throw line. It's no good. The rebound picked up by Bryn Woodside. She'll bring it up court as the Bruins settle back in their man-to-man defense. Both teams have used those defenses all game long. Crossover inside. Baseline drive. A foul is called, but probably a good foul there by Lee Curtis. Marina Novak had a clear shot to the basket. Lee tried to help out on defense. Commits the foul. Her first personal, third team against the Bruins. Marina Novak, a junior from Rogers, Minnesota. The entire Jamestown roster from the upper Midwest, Minnesota, North Dakota, and South Dakota. Morgan Cuff checks back into the game. Taylor Cormier checks in for the first time tonight. 18 degrees outside. That's been warm for the past week or so of weather. Second free throw off the mark. And we've got a lane violation against somebody. So Novak will get another shot. Next free throw is good. So she makes the Bruins pay with that lane violation. Not sure which of the Bruins was in the lane. A little backcourt pressure. Here's Walker, has her pocket pick from behind, but Cuff is able to get it back. Gets it to Beth inside. Walker is fouled. Foul will be on the floor. Third team foul against the Jimmies. That will be the first personal against Marina Nowak. Bruins set up the inbound play. Cormier to trigger it in. Gets it to Lee Curtis. Cormier launches from the corner, just a little bit short. Good follow-over shot. Again, the shot, that one's wild, out of control. Tipped out of bounds. It'll be Jimmy's basketball. So good hustle to get to the rebound, but the shot in a bad spot on the floor. Timeout called, a 30-second timeout called by head coach Greg Euland with 4:04 remaining in the first period. It's the Jimmies 8, the Bruins 5.
Well, so far in this game, Bellevue's only shooting 20% from the field goal from field goal percentage, and Jamestown shooting 33%, 3 of 9. So far, hardly any turnovers. Jamestown's only had 2. Bellevue has 0. Rebounds is one of the things that you kind of see a huge difference on. Bellevue's only been able to get 5 rebounds to Jamestown's 11, and like Coach Denley, Denley said. Rebounds is a big part of their game that they want to work on, and if they want a chance at winning this game, it's one of those things they got to fix and pick up and clean up.
Defense in general, rebounding in particular. Again, hey, let's give you the text message number while we have a quick second. 402-515-7654. Whether you're one of our loyal Bruin fans or listening in today from Jamestown, send along a text. Let us know where you're listening, who you're rooting for. Drive into the baseline. That'll be an offensive foul called against Nowak. That's her second personal. Again, good defense by the Bruins, denying that path to the basket in the middle of the lane. Substitution in for the Jimmies. It's Jory Mullen, one of the starting 5, back in, replacing Nowak with 2 fouls. Nowak will probably be on the bench for most of the rest of the first half. Again, the backcourt pressure. Beth Walker drives across the timeline. Again, trying to be double teamed. Good look to Curtis, to Cuff, off the glass and in. Lee Curtis with a nice assist. Morgan Cuff gets the basket. The Bruins are within 1 at 8-7. That one's out of bounds. Off Mullen, then the Bruins get the ball back. Solid defensive effort, hustling back on defense. Full court pressure applied here by the Jimmies. Walker's handled the ball a little bit more today than what we've seen on the season. Here's Cormier this time across, avoiding the double team trap at the half-court line. Cuff looks inside, trying to get it into Lee. Curtis working inside. Turnaround jump shot is short. Cuff there to battle for the board, but it goes off her and out of bounds. So Cuff doing a good job hustling after the boards after hitting the basket her last time down.
That ball might have not gone their way, but, I mean, the Bruins are doing a great job following their shot, giving them a second opportunity.
Mackenzie Sparby checks in for the first time for Jamestown. 3:15 remaining in the first period, 8-7 our score. Jimmy's leading by 1 over the Bruins. Here's Woodside. Bruins have done a good job holding her in check. Beth Walker with a stuff and steal. Nice job by Beth. Had a strong defensive effort last night, continuing today against the 2 teams' leading scorers. Curtis working inside. It won't fall. She gets her rebound. That one does go in. Good hustle down low by Lee Curtis. Bruins have the lead 9-8. Couple of second efforts by the Bruins. Here's Woodside again. Walker denying her. Good job using the body. Shot. Morgan Cuff gets the stuff this time. The Bruins on the run. Ahead to Curtis. Will she go one-on-one? No, she waits for the teammate. Here's Cuff in the lane. Too strong off the backboard. 2:22 to go in the first half. Bruins doing a nice job of staying with the number 6 rated team in the NAIA Division II. Bruins coming off the big victory last night against Valley City State, which is rated number 19. Guards at the perimeter. A look inside, drive to the basket. Shot up and in, good. The basket by Jory Mullen. 10-9, the Jimmies regain the lead. Again, pressure in the backcourt. Cormier drives there, trying to avoid the double team trap. Gets it over to Lee Curtis as the Bruins try to head into their offense. Here's Riley. McCartney drives all the way. She has her shot tipped out of bounds by Mackenzie Sparby. So Sparby doing a good job on defense. Alexis Martinez back in for Bellevue. And Maya Buffetta in for Jamestown. Well, it's been a strong defensive battle. Kristen Voiles checks in for the first time tonight for the Bruins, giving Beth Walker a little bit of a break. Into Voiles. To McCartney. Two of the veterans from last year's squad. Into Curtis, another veteran. Turnaround jump shot in the lane, off the glass. The rebound brought down by Sparby. Here comes Jamestown trying to expand on their 1-point lead. Long three-point shot from the top of the key is nailed. Maya Buffetta into the game and cans her first shot. It's a tray. 13-9 our score. Just over a minute to go in the first quarter. Bruins would like to etch into this 4-point deficit. Basket here would help. A stop on the other end would help even more. McCartney at the free throw line. Shot a little bit short. Battle for the rebound is controlled by Buffetta. Jamestown starting to pick up the pace. Another 3-point shot launched. That was off the mark. Voiles after the tip from Martinez. Here's Lee Curtis in front of the Jimmy's bench. Trying to look inside to Voiles. Instead, Lee on the drive. Her shot off the bottom of the board. She gets her own rebound. That's the third or fourth time we've seen the Bruins do that in this quarter alone. Shot clock down to 6. Trying to get inside to Voiles. Stolen away by Bryn Woodside. That's Kay Orr. Michaela Orr, coast to coast after the steal and basket. Orr, the senior from Ypsilanti, North Dakota. 4 seconds ticking down. Will Voiles get off a shot? It's off, but it's a little bit short. We are at the end of the first quarter of play. Our score, the Jamestown Jimmies 15, the Bellevue Bruins 9. A very tight contest through the first 8 minutes or so. Over the last 2 minutes, Jamestown turned it up a notch and able to work out to a 6-point lead.
So far after the first quarter, Bellevue's 4 of 20 from field goal, and Jamestown is 6 of 15. From the 3-point line, Bellevue's 0 for 2, and Jamestown has been 2 for 6. And it really seems like Jamestown's threes have come when like they really needed them, kind of give them a little comfortable lead there. As far as free throws go, Bellevue's 1 for 2, and Jamestown is 1 for 4. Bellevue's kind of catching up in the rebound statistics. They've got 11 so far after the first, and Jamestown's got 16. Bellevue's actually been able to get 4 turnovers so far off the Jimmies, and Jamestown's only gotten 1. But it seems like overall it's a pretty good game after the first quarter. I think Bellevue's got to make a little adjustments here and there if they want to stay in this game. Can't allow the Jimmies to get a huge lead, because that'll be tough to come back from against the number 6 ranked team.
Be nice for the Bruins to make a little bit of a run here as we start the second quarter. We saw that last night at the end of the second quarter and in the middle part of the third quarter, where Bellevue gained the lead and regained the momentum and confidence. Nobody really lighting it up too well as an individual. 3 points leads both squads. Muffetta and Emmel have 3 for Jamestown. Walker has 3 for the Bruins. A couple of the players have 2 points apiece as we start the second quarter. It's Jamestown basketball. Drive into the lane by Orr. She's cut off. The give to Woodside. Reversing to the right side. And back once again. Good ball. The Bruins have switched it up to a zone defense. Loose ball in the middle. Jimmy's able to regain possession. Shot clock down to 5. A 3-point shot is up and in. The shooting of Michaela Orr. For Orr, her second basket of the game. Now 5 points for her.
And that's one of the things that can kind of hurt you in a zone defense. I mean, yeah, it prevents the inside game, but Jamestown can shoot from the 3. We've seen it.
Here's Alexis Martinez working inside, one-on-one with the left hand. Shot won't go down, still battling for the board. Alexis clears it. She's surrounded by a couple of Jimmies, and now the jump ball called. It'll remain Bellevue basketball. But Alexis getting frustrated as several Jimmies were on her arms and over her back trying to go for that rebound, but the call is a jump ball. She'll step out for a bit as Morgan Cuff comes back in. I think Coach Dave Denley just wants to kind of get her to calm down a little bit after that last play. Talking to her over at the Bruin bench. Shayla Dean looking to inbound the basketball, gets it into Lee Curtis, and a foul is called against one of the Jimmies down low. Foul goes against Jory Mullen. First personal, first team foul of this second quarter. Again, in the women's game, 5 team fouls per quarter is when you start shooting 2 free throws. Inside to Curtis. Lee, the kick out to Shayla Dean. Dean to drive. She's double teamed in the corner. Cuff with the basketball, looking to Curtis. Uses the screen. Tries to get it inside. Won't go there, so she goes outside to Dean. Dean with a nice drive, but the left-handed shot rolls off her hands and won't go in. Bruins again with some inside looks. We saw that a couple times early this season. They're getting good shots, just having a hard time to cap them down. Here's Woodside. Another three-pointer. Bryn Woodside hits this one from about the exact same spot where Michaela Orr hit one last time down. That's where the Jimmies can be so deadly. 4 different Jimmies have had three-point shots made in today's game. The shot by Dean from the outside won't go down, and Jimmies get the basketball back. Alexis Martinez checks back into the game from Bellevue, replacing Kristen Voiles. And that last foul was called on Voiles, her first personal. Each squad now with 1 team foul. Woodside and Emmel playing catch at the top of the key. Now inside to Sparby. Back to Woodside, driving against Walker. Again, Walker gets the stuff and steal. Second time we've seen that tonight. Quickly ahead to Morgan. Cuff with the layup. Again, good vision of the court. Walker's down, but she gets up. Must have just hit a wet spot and went down. Another three-point attempt by the Jimmies. This one from the outside by Emmel. Curtis with the basketball. Drives around a couple of defenders. Ahead. Deflected pass into the hands of Dean. She gets bumped hard a couple times, but officials letting the young ladies play pretty roughly here in this first half of action. Able to use the body. Here's the entry pass to Curtis. He has it knocked away. It'll be Bellevue basketball with 10 seconds on the shot clock. Riley McCartney back in for the Bruins, along with Jenna Doyle for Jamestown. Woodside and Orr with 5 points, leading Jamestown. Morgan Cuff now with 4, the leading scorer for Bellevue. Walker with the basketball on the right baseline. Her pass attempted to go inside to Alexis Martinez, but Walker's pass went one way and Martinez went the other, so the turnover against the Bruins. Jimmy's basketball, bringing it up court, leading scorer Bryn Woodside. Beth Walker greets her. Bruins back to a man-to-man defense. Quick first step, but no shot available. The pass, the drive by Emmel. She's denied by Martinez. It goes out of bounds. It will be, and the officials are talking. They want to get together, and the outside official overrules the inside official. It'll be Bellevue basketball. So a nice defensive play once again by the home team. Here's Shayla Dean. Again, a little body bumping. Dean is knocked to the floor by Michaela Orr. That'll be the second team foul. First personal foul, against Orr. Ypsilanti is a funny spelled word, but we'll say that one more time just because I like to. Here's Shayla Dean after the foul. Bruins basketball. Second team foul against the Jimmies. Only one against Bellevue in this quarter. Morgan Cuff with the drive. The pass to Martinez off her hands to Beth Walker. McCartney tipped away by Orr. Back to Dean. Shot clock at 10. Little slipping and sliding at the top of the key. Cuff works away for an open shot. The free throw line and knocks it down. Morgan Cuff with her third basket of the night. The 5'11 junior from Lakeville, Minnesota. The hot hand in the first half for the Bruins. Bellevue settling back to a zone, this time down, changing up the looks to try to confuse the Jimmies. Inside pass, thread the needle to Doyle. Doyle working against Martinez. Nice shot off the glass for the basket. 23-13 our score. Back to a 10-point lead for Jamestown with 6 minutes plus a few seconds to go in this second quarter. Coach Dave Denley shouting out instructions from the Bruin bench. Into Cuff. Cuff to Dean, over near the Jimmy's bench, tied up, and both girls go to the floor. Dean took a pretty tough landing. The possession arrow will go to Jamestown. Michaela Orr tied her up, and both young ladies wound up banging on the hardwoods. Oh, the Bruins need to make another defensive stop here. Back to a man-to-man defense inside. Martinez with a nice play. Alexis knocks it away and then controls it. So the Bruins have 5.5 minutes to get back into this one, trailing by 10 points, 23-13. Walker drives to the right side to give to McCartney. Three-point on the way. McCartney winds up on the floor after contact. No foul call. Walker gets it back. Alexis, the head fake, the drive inside, off the glass and in. Nice work inside by Alexis Martinez. Shayla Dean denies the pass off her hands, out of bounds. It'll be Jamestown basketball. So the excitement level picking up a little bit here once again. 5:11 to go in the first half of action. 23-15 our score. Another defensive stop would be nice here for the Bruins. Little guard action out there. Walker guarding Bryn Woodside. She's done a nice job. Martinez with another defensive play, knocking it out of bounds. Jimmies have tried to work the ball inside the last several times down to their post player, Jenna Doyle, the 6'3 junior. Out to Bryn Woodside, excuse me. She drives through traffic. The pass again knocked out of bounds by Alexis Martinez with 8 seconds on the shot clock. The Jimmies will still have possession.
We've seen great inside defense so far from Bellevue. They're not allowing any passes or shots to come up.
Marina Nowak back into the game for the Jimmies. Again, a defensive play, knocking the ball out of bounds. A second or so knocked off the shot clock on the play. Emma Storr checks into the game for Jamestown. Woodbury, Minnesota native, just a freshman. Allison Jablonski gets it in to Doyle. Battle for the rebound. Morgan Cuff yanks it out of the pile and leads the 3-on-3 break for the Bruins. Walker back to Cuff inside. Martinez has a good look inside, clears some space, but too high off the backboard. Martinez again with the bound, has her left-handed shot blocked. Cuff with the position play. She'll go to the line to shoot 2 free throws. Well, Bellevue, which was being out-rebounded by a big advantage in the first quarter, has turned the tables on the Jimmies.
And Morgan's an 83% free throw shooter, so we'll see if she can cut this lead down to 6 here for the Bruins.
Second personal foul against Jenna Doyle as Morgan hits the first free throw. Taylor Cormier, Lee Curtis back into the game, replacing Dean and Martinez. So the Bruins a little smaller on the court. Let's see if they can continue to do the job defensively on the rebounding end as Cuff hits both free throws. Nice job. Morgan Cuff with 8 points, leading the Bruins in the first half. Deficit cut to 6 points with 4.5 minutes to go. Jamestown brings it up. Bryn Woodside. Trying to penetrate, leaves up Woodside for the three-point shot. It's no good. Lee Curtis clears the boards. Bellevue's leading rebounder. Woodside trying to pressure her. Walker open in the corner, tries to look inside. Pass over everybody. McCartney for 3 off the back iron. Rebound by Morgan Cuff. Another offensive board for the Bruins. Lee Curtis inside. She's fouled going to the basket. That'll go against Mackenzie Sparby. And Lee Curtis will head to the free throw line. 4 team fouls against Jamestown. Timeout called by Jamestown head coach Greg Uland. 3:57 remaining in the first half. Jimmy's 23, Bruins 17. Bellevue, a nice little run here, Julian.
Yeah. I mean, they're doing a great job on the offensive board. They almost have as many offensive rebounds as they have defensive rebounds. They have 9 offensive rebounds so far this game to 10 defensive rebounds.
Morgan Cuff, the leading Bellevue player. She's 3 out of 6 for the floor. A couple of free throws, her 8 points. Alexis Martinez has 4. Beth Walker has 3. Lee Curtis has 2. So only 4 Bruins have scored in this one. On the Jamestown side, Bryn Woodside with 5. Michaela Orr with 5, each of them with a basket and a tray. Jenna Doyle with 4. Maya Buffetta with 3. Paige Emmel also with 3. Jory Mullen with 2. And Marina Nowak with 1. Timeout concluded. Both teams back out on the floor. Jamestown has used 3 of their 6 timeouts in this first half. Bellevue has only used 1, so the Bruins have 5 timeouts remaining. Here's Lee Curtis. Free throw is good. Bellevue's free throw shooting has gone steadily upward throughout the course of this season. Lee pulls Bellevue to within 5. Make that 4. Lee Curtis with a couple of knocks from the free throw line. All right, let's see how the final 4 minutes or so of the first half plays out. If the Bruins, who trailed by 10 at one point, now trailing by 4, can stay in this one against the number 6 rated team in the NAIA Coaches Top 25 poll. Riley McCartney gets her hand on it. It'll be Bruins basketball as it went off of Allison Jablonski, who was standing on the baseline. And another turnover against Jamestown. Back into the game comes Michaela Orr, one of the 2 sharpshooting guards, along with Bryn Woodside. Bruins have done a pretty good job of keeping them in check. They do have 5 points. The 2 of them average 13, 14 points per game. Here's Beth Walker. Riley McCartney, 5 for 6 from three-point land last night. Hoping to get on track here again tonight. Taylor Cormier, drive in the lane. Bounce pass to Curtis inside. Lee a little short. Beth Walker pulls down another offensive rebound. And the Bruins a fresh shot clock. Curtis again working inside. That shot just won't get over the lip of the rim. And the rebound pulled down by the Jimmies. Quickly up court. Here's Nowak defended by Riley McCartney. Outside to Woodside. Orr left open. The 3-point shot off the mark, but the rebound put back. It won't go down on the shot by Jablonski, but Jamestown grabs another rebound. Here's Woodside to the basket, fouled by Taylor Cormier on the drive left side of the key. That'll be Taylor's first personal foul, second team foul against Bellevue. Here's Bryn Woodside at the free throw line to shoot 2. Makes the first. 77% free throw shooter for the Jimmies on the season. Checking back in comes Paige Emmel, one of the starting 5. And makes the second. In addition to her scoring ability, Woodside leads the team with 80 assists on the year, so very versatile player. Here's Morgan Cuff. Cuff into the lane. The pass knocked away by Woodside. She anticipated that one. She's got an easy lane to the basket, and she makes the layup. And the Bruins, who had closed it to 4, now trail again by 8. Here's Cuff across the timeline. Burst of speed. She's cut off by Emmel. Inside look to Walker. Cormier for 3. Taylor hits it from the left corner. High arcing shot is good. First points of the night for Taylor Cormier. The Bruins back to within 5. Just over 2 minutes to go in the first half. Again, Beth Walker stumbles in the lane, gets back up. The bounce pass outside. It's no good. McCartney with the rebound off the miss from Sparby. And the Bruins can again get a little bit closer with 1:50 remaining in the half. Dave Denley shouting out play instructions to his team. Lee Curtis with the basketball. McCartney open for 3. Plants, shoots, rims out on the little swoop off the rim. Jamestown quickly down court. Drive to the basket. Riley McCartney with good defensive position. Riley takes the hard charge. It'll be an offensive foul. Riley McCartney doing a great job on defense there. Stood her ground, got planted and stood her ground outside that circle. Foul's going to go against Paige Emmel, her first personal. 5 team fouls, offensive fouls, so it's not a shooting situation, even though the Jimmies have 5 team fouls in the period. Taylor Cormier walks the ball up court. 1:22 remaining in this second period. Bruins trail by 5. Dave Denley shouts for his team to move, get into their offensive look here. Clear out for Curtis on this right side. Lee spins away from one defender. Her shot in traffic. Good defense by Nowak. Woodside hustles down court, tries to get the ball into the corner, but Lee Curtis on the play. A 2-on-2 break to Alexis Martinez. Back to Lee. Shot won't go down, but a foul is called. That'll go against Michaela Orr as the Bruins in a foot race there. Second personal foul against Orr. Curtis back to the free throw line with 53 seconds to go in the period. Some of the Bruin men's players, some of the Jamestown men player. As Lee, a perfect 3 for 3 from the line. Here's Shayla Dean back in replacing Beth Walker. Walker getting handshakes from her teammates and coaching staff as she departs. 4 for 4 for Curtis from the line. Bruins within 3 points. So a couple of critical final possessions for each squad. 48 seconds remaining. Bruins trail by 3. Jablonski with the basketball, working against Curtis. Gives it off to Emmel, who gives it off to Woodside. Woodside thought about pulling up for the tray. Now she'll try to use the high screen, drive to the baseline, loses the basketball, but it goes off the foot of Shayla Dean, so it'll remain Jimmy's basketball. Woodside's got to be getting a little bit frustrated here as the Bruins have been cloaking her all first half long. Mostly Beth Walker, that time Shayla Dean. Seven seconds on the shot clock, 30 seconds on the game clock. Nowak works herself free for the easy basket inside. She came out of the stack and got position for the easy bucket. Bruins can afford to hold for the final shot with 20 seconds remaining in the period. 29-24. Bellevue trailed by as many as 10, got to within 3. Let's see what the final first half outcome will be. The drive to the middle, intercepted by Woodside. 2 seconds, Woodside, will she get it off? She does. And the Jimmies with 2 baskets within the final 30 seconds take a 31-24 lead at halftime. Well, that's got to be a little bit demoralizing for the Bruins squad as they had a chance to cut the deficit, but with 2 points there at the buzzer, the deficit now is back to 7. Julian, your impressions of the first half?
So far it's been a good game defensively for both teams, but we've kind of seen a little bit of mistakes on the Bruins side offensively that's been allowing the Jimmies to maintain this lead that they have. I mean, little turnovers like that can really cost you later in the game, so hopefully in the second half they figure it out and kind of cut it down and could do the same to Jamestown.
Again, Dave Denley said that defense was going to be the deciding things, and the Bruins have played good defense for most of the time. A couple of lapses there at the end on the inbounds play and then the stolen pass, the length of the court drive. Outside of that, they've done a good job. The Jimmies averaging about just under 80 points per game. They only have 31 at halftime, so the Bruins, unfortunately, on the offensive end are not shooting it very well. Only 24 points for them. The Bruin team averages 66 points per game. So both squads under their season averages at halftime. Let's take a quick look at some of the halftime stats.
All right, for Bellevue, we have Morgan Cuff leading the team with 8 points. Lee Curtis with 6, Alexis Martinez with 4, Beth Walker with 3, and Taylor Cormier with 3 as well. For Jamestown, we have Bryn Woodside with 11, Michaela Orr with 5, Jenna Doyle with 4, Maya Buffetta with 3, and Paige Emmel with 3, along with Marina Nowak with 3, and Jory Mullen with 2.
So for both teams, more players getting involved in the scoring. At the end of one quarter, there are only 4 Bruins and 5 Jimmies that were in the scoring column. So starting to spread it around a little bit, but it's been mostly a defensive struggle in this one between the Bruins and the Jimmies. Nobody on the text message end of things. Let's give you that number one more time if you want to send along your greetings at halftime. The text message number is 402-515-7654. So if you're listening in, a Bruin fan or a Jimmy fan, and want to be part of our broadcast, we invite you to send along a text to 402-515-7654. 7654. Send along your greetings to Julian and me. Let us know who you're watching in today's game, who you're rooting for, as the Bruins. Again, we made the connection to last night. The Bruins played a ranked team. They were down at halftime, but played a strong third and fourth quarter to win over the 19th ranked Valley City State Vikings. Bruins trailing at halftime here by 7. Hoping to mount a second half surge to get back into this one. Julian and I are going to take a little bit break. We'll be back in about 7 or 8 minutes or so to bring you the exciting second half of the women's game, and then after that, men's contest as well. Bellevue University and the University of Jamestown Jimmy in action today right here on the Coach Jerry Mosser court inside the Gordon Lozier Center. Keep it right here for more on the Bruins Sports Network.
I gotta tell you, that morning before I left, right before I left, I went out in the garage, I was like, oh, fuck me. You know what? Hopefully they leave it. I'll clean it up. I was gonna leave it. I was like, no, we're not. Oh, yeah. What's the landfill charge for this? 17. Yeah, that's cheap. That's cheap. I think ours is 35. One out, just 7 miles north of me. I'm paying $70. That's a good idea. What's that? When you pay your property tax. Yeah. Yep. It's either 2 or 4 for the year. I mean, no. It is private. Taxes paid. Wow. Which I'm all for. I hear it. We're like at 2.9. Step outside for a minute or two. All except for one community. I've been walking around the way. 2.1. That's where the Maryland. The gym that I go to, it's like 30 minutes walk from my place. I've been there in the morning, get the shower, get here, in the bleachers, clean the court. Isn't that funny? Keep it busy, yeah? Yep. The class is starting on Monday. They already started. Oh, they did? Okay. I already had a test. Oh, geez. You know, what like a 2.5 weeks of break, I don't know mine. Well, Christmas isn't the, it's not the end of it. It's 5 days. Exactly. There's not that I didn't. Billy and Danielle are just so far in the real estate. Like being an adult for 1 week off. Try to be an adult and remember this. February? I'm like, no, I've never heard of you. And the other one already starts. You don't want to know like how it's weird, but you don't sure the end of May. No. The Jackson's looking at May 27th. There's a period. So you know the big house they have, they've like gutted it, redid everything. They've been in Arizona. Do you like that situation better, or do you like the more traditional semester? What are the neighbors call it? I like it better because you have less stress. Michael went in there, I guess. You have too much stuff going on. Oh, how can you have to be hectic? Yeah. like just 3 classes per semester.
He said it's
I don't know.
I haven't said that. A water pipe definitely used in the house.
There are semesters I've done 6 classes in an hour. I mean, that's too much.
Yeah.
Really must be.
Some of the high schools in the area a couple years ago went to a
Really, their kids like
block, and instead of having 8 classes in the day,
might end up on the
like 45 minutes long, they have 4, but they're twice as long. So it gives you a chance to focus more on those subjects instead of dividing your attention.
I like it better. Semester is shorter. We cover the textbook a little bit faster. But I think that's, for me at least, that's better.
Those times he'll come out.
As I said, sometimes you have like 6 classes. And like
He will. It's just not having a house to live in.
mandatory
Although they do have a foothouse like in
science class, like
the kids go take it down and move into that for a couple months and get the crews in. That's what I was doing.
plus the rest. So if you take like 6 classes, 5 classes per semester, you are just
So you got the foothouse spot underneath those LLC.
you have no class.
Pay rent back to himself and get that money back from the insurance.
That was like my son when he went to college. His freshman year, he played on the baseball team, and he just realized there wasn't enough time to do baseball and studies, and then he had to have a job. So
I told you, he'll come out
do
right.
all 3 without driving yourself crazy.
I mean, I can't even get it. You haven't been on the inside of that. Oh, we're talking.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Bruin Sports Network. We are at halftime. The men's squads from both Bellevue and Jamestown took the opportunity to get some shots in to help loosen up. Their game will start, scheduled starting time around 5 o'clock. We'll have that one for you as well on the Bellevue Bruin Sports Network. 1 half to go on the women's game at halftime. It's Jamestown 31, Bellevue 24. Here are the leaders. First of all, for the visiting University of Jamestown Jimmy, it's Bryn Woodside. 11 points leading the way, most of them coming here late in the second period. Michaela Orr with 5, Jenna Doyle with 4. 3 players with 3, Maya Buffetta, Paige Emmel, and Marina Nowak. And Jory Mullen has added 2 points. On the Bruins side of the ledger, Morgan Cuff leading the way. She has 8 points on 3 for 6 shooting, along with 2 free throws. Lee Curtis has 6 points. She's 4 for 4 from the free throw line. Alexis Martinez has 4 points. Beth Walker and Taylor Cormier has 3. And that's it on the Bruins side. So Bruins leading to try to find some more offensive punch in the second half. They only shot 24% from the floor in that first half, looking to try to get things going. Had some open looks, but just not able to knock things down. Julian joins me back up here, chewing on a Snickers bar. That looks pretty tasty. Where's mine?
I didn't know you wanted one.
All right. Food and I go way back, Julian. You should know that from the size of my stomach here. About 2 minutes before we're back to the action on the women's side of things. Let's take a quick look at the North Star Athletic Association standings as of today. Happy Three Kings Day to everybody. Feast of the Epiphany. Jamestown at 5-0 on top of the conference. 2 teams tied for second place, Valley City State and Mayville State, both of them at 4-2. 2 teams tied for fourth place, that's Bellevue and Dakota State at 3-2. Then comes Presentation at 3-3, Waldorf at 2-4, Viterbo at 1-4, and then Dickinson State in 9th place in the 9-team conference, still looking for their first NSAA win of the season. We're in the middle of a long homestand for the Bruins. Their final 2 games of 2017 were at home, and then their first 5 games in 2018 are also right here on the Coach Jerry Mosser court. Next weekend, the Bruins are in conference action once again. Coming in will be Dickinson State on Friday and Mayville State on Saturday. In between, on Tuesday, January 9th, a non-conference matchup against Nebraska Christian down the road near Papillion, Nebraska, just about a 10-mile drive or so west of the Bellevue University campus. So that should be an interesting matchup. First time those 2 schools have matched up in women's basketball competition. There's the buzzer. That tells us 1 minute to go before we get back to the action. As I mentioned, Jamestown 5-0 in conference. Bellevue 3-2 with victories over Viterbo and Waldorf and Valley City State. The Bruins' losses are to Presentation College and Dakota State. Julian, what do you look for as maybe keys for the Bruins as we get ready to start the second half of action?
I'd say they'd want to keep up the defense they've been playing. They've been playing great defense. I mean, we've seen it in the first half, a lot of turnovers. And the only thing I think I would change is kind of cut down on the offensive mistakes. Kind of the turnovers in there, the bad passes they've had in the lanes and stuff like that. So that's just the small things. I mean, they can't control the ball really going in the basket. They've been getting great looks, but pretty much just turnovers on the offensive side.
Last night we saw the Bruins get back into the game in the opening minutes of the third period. Let's see if it's deja vu for the purple and gold as we get started with the third quarter. Shayla Dean with the basketball. Inside to Alexis Martinez at the high post to give back to Dean. Those 2 playing catch. Now Morgan Cuff gets back involved once again. Beth Walker on the left wing to McCartney. Inside to Alexis, the little head fake, the drive inside, the bump, the good defensive play down low by Jenna Doyle denies Martinez on the Bruins' opening possession. Here's Jamestown with their first chance on offense in the second half. Orr with the basketball. She splits a couple of defenders, but cut off on her drive. The kick-out pass. Martinez returns the favor and stuffs Jory Mullen on that left side inside. Martinez, the pull-up, the look. Alexis just won't have it go down. We've seen that how many times tonight. The ball's banged off the rim a couple times, but hasn't gone through. Teams obviously have changed directions for this second half of action. Now Jamestown heading to your right in the white uniforms. The Bruins going to the left in purple. Drive to the basket. A foul is called. I think that's going to be on the floor before the shot. Foul's called against Riley McCartney, her first personal foul. 7-point lead. And they say foul in the act of shooting. So Paige Emma will step to the free throw line. Emma with 3 first half points. First trip to the free throw line today. Makes the first, lead grows to 8.
And you expect her to sink these here. She's a great free throw shooter, shooting 87% from the line.
Not too shabby.
Yeah.
We tried the reverse jinx, but it didn't work. Good try, Julian. 9-point lead. 10 points, the largest lead of the day. Ooh, Shayla Dean tries to get that errant pass from Morgan Cuff. Cuff just kind of dribbled herself into trouble in that double team trap at the midpoint of the court. Woodside drives baseline, cut off by Walker. Walker drawing the man-to-man assignment against her again. Cuts off her path. The path outside to Orr. Orr dribbles, penetrates. No shot there. The kick out pass knocked out of bounds. Deflected by Shayla Dean. It'll be Jimmy's basketball. Calitria Curtis back in for the Bruins, replacing Morgan Cuff. 7 seconds remaining on the shot clock this possession. Orr to Woodside against Walker. Got the step. Beth recovered on defense. Loose ball on the floor. A foul's going to be called. That's going to go against Jenna Doyle. Her third personal foul, so a little bit of foul trouble for the post player for the Jimmies as we're in the early minutes of the third period of action. 33-24 our score. Full court pressure. We've seen Jamestown do that quite a bit. Shayla Dean gets knocked to the floor, no foul called. Woodside picks up the ball, and then she gets knocked to the floor as well. A little bit of frustrations on the court. Officials conferring now. Some of the Jamestown fans getting kind of crazy in the stands. Three officials still conferring, as you can see. I'm thinking not over the foul call, but a possibility of a technical foul perhaps on the play. Don't know. Let's see what happens out of all of this. So Dean dribbling the ball up court. She and Bryn Woodside collided near the free throw line. Dean lost her footing and the basketball. So the personal foul against Shayla Dean. And also a technical foul will be assessed. So Shayla picks up 2 fouls there, and Dave Denley talking to one of the officials across the way. I'm sure he's saying, hey, call the first foul, and the second one of the technical won't be needed. Woodside with the free throw makes it a 10-point game once again. Second free throw upcoming. That one also good. 35-24. Taylor Cormier checks in for the Bruins. It'll be Jimmy's basketball on the side. Dean now with 2 fouls on the game. Bruins with 2 team fouls in the quarter. Timeout called by Jamestown. So they're down to only 2 timeouts remaining in this second half. 8:08 remaining in the third period. 11-point lead for the Jimmies, 35-24. So kind of a crazy start here in the third quarter. Both these teams obviously battling hard. This is a very meaningful game in conference. Jamestown on top 5-0. The Bruins with the win here, not only having the happiness of an upset win, but also moves them up in conference standings. Nice crowd on hand this afternoon on a chilly January Saturday afternoon. About 18 degrees when the game started. That's the warmest it's been in about the last 9 or 10 days. Expected to get above freezing in the Omaha-Bellevue area tomorrow for the first time since before Christmas or so. But the action is hot and furious here on the basketball court. How's that? Nice segue. Here we go back to the action. Jimmy's basketball at half court. Conversation across the way still continuing. And now we're back to the action, as so much for the conversation across the way. Here we go. Jimmy's basketball. Emma with the drive to the basket. Martinez comes over to deny the shot, but the rebound and follow by Jenna Doyle. Beth Walker with the basketball, hounded by Bryn Woodside. Woodside reaches across. She'll draw the foul. Bellevue fans happy about that call. Just the first personal foul against Bryn Woodside. Taylor Cormier receives the inbounds pass. 7:45 to go in the third period. Bruins, let's see how that foul and technical affect the Bruins' comeback attempt here. Cormier to Curtis. Lee tries to penetrate, nothing there. Walker back to Curtis, the pass off her hands. Picked up by Michaela Orr. She'll bring it up court to give to Bryn Woodside. Woodside will pull it back up to the top of the key. Crossover drive by Paige Emmel. She gives it off to Jory Mullen. Back to Emmel. Bruins on the switch on the man-to-man defense. Orr with a nice crossover dribble at the top of the key. Penetrates and makes the basket. Things getting a little chippy as Martinez and Orr bang shoulders after the basket. Cormier shouts out the play to her teammate. Penetrates into the lane, gets it on a nice bounce pass to Martinez inside. She's denied by Jenna Doyle. Doyle using that 6'3" frame to deflect a shot from Alexis Martinez. Woodside looking inside. Bruins look like they've now switched back on defense. That shot way off the mark by Doyle. Curtis with the rebound. The Bruins trailing by 15 points, largest deficit of the night for the home team. Have got to get it going on offense. It's as simple as that. We said in talking to Coach Dave Denley before the game that defense was going to decide this. Bellevue's done a good job on defense, but the offense just hasn't clicked tonight. Timeout called by the Bruins head coach, Dave Denley, talking to his team, trying to get them to get into their offensive flow, trying to make that point a little bit more adamantly. Again, a quick look at the individual scoring leaders for us. Bryn Woodside with 13, leading the way for Jamestown. Morgan Cuff with 8 points, but the Bruins, not a lot of offensive production in the second half. In fact, no offensive production. They're stuck on 24. They have not scored through the first 4 minutes of the second half. Men's game to follow. Bellevue with the win last night over Valley City State to go to 10-7 on the season. The Bellevue men on a 3-game winning streak. Jamestown Jimmies at 12-5 on the season, 2-3 in conference. They have received votes in the NAIA Top 25. So stick around for the men's action. That will follow this afternoon's women's game. Jamestown in control at this point. Bellevue basketball. Inadvertent buzzer across the way. Now things have gotten straightened out. Here we go. Back to the action. Curtis trying to look inside. Gives it to Morgan Cuff, who checked in during the timeout. Kick out pass to McCartney. Cuff from the baseline. Morgan has 10 points. 4 out of 7 from the floor from Morgan Cuff. She's the hottest shooter for the Bruins today. Orr drives through. Now the baseline drive by Nowak, and a foul's going to be called. Offensive charge. Taylor Cormier with good position inside. That'll go against Marina Nowak, her 3rd personal foul. Again, a little backcourt pressure. Seeing if they can try a backcourt trap. Walker dribbles around it, gets it to Cormier. Foster City, California native. Over to Lee Curtis, the Louisiana native. Back to California, down to Kansas, over to Minnesota, and to the top of the key. Nice catch by McCartney. Here's Cormier through the legs dribble, sets up for the 3-pointer off the back iron, no good. The rebound brought down by Jenna Doyle. Jimmy settling their offense. Paige Emmel, the 3-point shot, swoops away. McCartney pulls down the rebound. Closing in on the 5-minute mark to go in the 3rd period. 13-point lead for the Jimmies. Curtis to the left side, nothing there. Back to McCartney. Cormier, bounce pass inside to Curtis. Gets away with the double dribble, no call. Lee around the bend, off the glass and in. Lee Curtis now with 8 points. Guard weave at the top of the arc for Jamestown. Michaela Orr sets up for a 3-pointer. That's no good. Beth Walker pulls down the rebound. Secures it and brings it up court. Bellevue has scored the last 2 baskets, cut the deficit to 11. Stolen away by Michaela Orr. It's a foot race between her and Cuff. Morgan gets down floor to deny the shot. Good foul on that to save the easy 2 points. Michaela Orr will head to the free throw line for 2 shots. Second personal foul against Morgan Cuff. Each squad with 3 team fouls in this third period. First free throw. Friendly bounce off the front of the rim for the basket. Back into the game comes Allison Jablonski. Orr makes both free throws. 13-point game, 41-28. A little bit more intense pressure in the backcourt. Now the Jimmies drop back. Bellevue setting up in the offense. Again, trying to delay the Bruins from getting into an offensive flow. Lee Curtis with the basketball, uses the screen by Cuff. Back to Lee inside from Walker. One-on-one inside. Lee tries to use the left hand. It won't go down. And saved from going out of bounds by Orr. No call on the drive up the court. Banged off the glass and in by Bryn Woodside. Walker has a free path across the timeline to Cuff. Cuff drives baseline, help out defense, quick passing. McCartney for 3, that's the mark on that one. And out of bounds. It's just kind of the life of a three-point shooter. Last night she was 5 out of 6, hasn't hit one yet tonight. That's her 5th three-point attempt tonight. Alexis Martinez checks back in, replacing Morgan Cuff at that post position. 3.5 minutes remaining in this third period. As Michaela Orr, that's Bryn Woodside. Both about the same size with ponytails. To Jablonski. Back to Orr, back to Woodside. Walker on her. Nice inside pass, but tipped around a little bit. Saved across the way by Nowak. Shot clock down to 4. Woodside takes the shot. It's short. The rebound pulled in by Curtis. Here comes Lee across the way. She's bumped. Second personal foul against Bryn Woodside. 4th team foul against the Jimmies, so still not a shooting situation. Maya Buffetta back in. And Paige Immel back in as well. 15-point game, 43-28. Bruins kept it close in the first half. But then the last minute of the second quarter, the Jimmies got a couple of uncontested baskets to help them pull away to a 7-point lead, and they've continued to expand that lead here in the third period. Tough defense by the Jimmies. Bruins trying to reverse the basketball. Here's Shayla Dean. Back into the game, stolen away by Nowak. Good anticipation on the pass. She heads down the floor and lays it in for the basket. The steal and bucket by Marina Nowak. Timeout called by Dave Denley as the third quarter has belonged to the Jimmies. 2:25 remaining, 45-28 our score. Bellevue only scoring 4 points in this period thus far. So Bellevue was shooting at about 24% at halftime. They still just haven't gotten it going, still at around 24%. Let's just do a quick refresh here to see if our computer take a little break. Nope, that's still accurate, 24%. Just not having the shots go down.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the biggest things. Their shots aren't sinking, and they're making little mistakes that are really, the Jimmies are really capitalizing on. I mean, off of those turnovers, they've been able to score 16 points. That's huge. If you want to win a game, you can't afford to have that many points off of turnovers.
And that frustration of the ball not going down the hoop, that just leads to other bad things happening. You get frustrated, so maybe you'll make a little ticky-tack foul, or maybe you won't get back on defense as quickly, or maybe you'll try to force the issue next time and commit a turnover. So
that's one of the things we saw as well. Bellevue, it seemed like they were kind of forcing some shots up, or forcing passes instead of slowly letting the play develop and finding the best open shot.
Bellevue basketball with 2:25 remaining. Again, that backcourt pressure, just token pressure to move things a little bit. Yeah. Here's Lee Curtis bringing the ball across the half-court line to give to Shayla Dean. McCartney lost her dribble, gives it off to Shayla on the handoff, coming around. Shayla tries to drive left side, help out defense, denies her there. Here's Alexis banging her way inside. The shot off the back iron, won't go down. Defense by Mackenzie Sparby on the play for the Jimmies. Buffetta gives it off to Emmel, to Jablonski, who takes about 4 steps before she dribbles, so that'll be a turnover. The 11th turnover of the game for Jamestown. Turnover margin has been pretty much the same.
Yep.
Lee walks it across the timeline. Bruins trying to get something going. Strong defense by Jamestown has just taken Bellevue out of the game. Last night things worked well, and there's a pass out of bounds. Jamie Winkler into the game, trying to provide a spark from her guard position, but that pass too low to handle. Now 11 turnovers against each team. Bruins trying to press in the backcourt. Buffetta and Jablonski able to get it across the line. Let's see if Jamestown continues to push the issue. Jablonski with the three-pointer, too short. Off a couple players' hands, recontrolled by Maya Buffetta. A fresh shot clock for the Jimmies. Emmel penetrates, shot off the glass. That one does go down. Paige Emmel connects for the Jimmies. For Emmel, now 7 points on the game. Walker gets the ball back, gives it to Alexis Martinez in traffic. Spin move inside against the double team. She's fouled and will head to the free throw line. Jimmies have been doing a great job on help defense. If a Bruin beats her defender, there's always somebody on the backside to get in the way.
And that could be the cause of some of the hesitations in the shots that are kind of putting them in and out of the basket.
Now you're expecting contact, and so that's, you get a little gun shy after a while. Alexis hits the first of 2 free throws. She had 11 points last night, has 5 right now. And both free throws are good. Nice technique for her. Here's Maya Buffetta dribbling her way into the Bruin half. Bruins trying to triple team. Jamie Winkler comes up with the steal. 30 seconds remaining. Winkler launches the 3. It's no good. Battle for the rebound. Tipped out. Lee Curtis winds up on the floor. She and Mackenzie Sparby were battling for the loose ball. Lee got the worst of that one. And they say Jimmy's basketball. Got their feet tangled up. No foul, just a possession to Jamestown. They will try to save it for the final shot of the quarter with 17 seconds remaining. Buffetta, the kick out, the shot by Jablonski, nothing but net at the buzzer of the third quarter. Allison Jablonski, the sophomore from Blaine, Minnesota, connects. And at the end of 3 periods, it's now a 20-point game as Jamestown leads it by a score of 50-30. The Jimmies had a 6-point lead at the end of 1 quarter, a 7-point lead at the end of 2. Well, they really have opened it up here in the third period, now leading by 20, as Bellevue only scoring 6 points in this quarter.
Yeah, we've kind of seen the Jimmies take advantage of the inside. It seemed like the more turnovers Bellevue had, the more Jamestown kind of capitalized on the inside, getting easy lay-ins. And, I mean, points in the paint, they've been able to get 22 points in the paint. I think in the first half they only had maybe 10. So, yeah, just off that third quarter, they had a great third quarter.
And Jamestown able to pack in the defense close in. Bellevue only 1 out of 10 from three-point land, so Jamestown can afford to keep their players closer to the basket to defend against those inside shots. And until the Bruins are able to open things up on the outside and hit some trays, Jamestown's going to just kind of continue to pack it in, play help-out defense when needed. 50-30 our score. Jimmy's shooting 43% from the floor. Bellevue shooting 23. So a 20 percentage point difference in shooting, and that's the story. Some of that caused by the Jamestown defense. Bellevue stayed close in the first half, and in fact, we're within 3 points with about a minute and a half to go at the end of the first half. And then Jamestown, that little spurt and a big spurt in the third period, outscoring Bellevue 19-6 in that period. It'll be Jamestown basketball to start the fourth quarter. Pressure by Walker in the backcourt on Woodside makes it difficult to get in, but they accomplish the feat. Jimmy's basketball, Emmel to Woodside. Drive left side, help out by Alexis Martinez, and Beth Walker comes up with the loose basketball underneath. Walker uses the screen, sets up for the shot, hits the front of the rim, and into the arms of Paige Emmel. Emmel bringing it down court, inside feed, off the glass, up and in. Nice feed from Emmel to Nowak for the basket for the Jimmies. And Jamestown just keeps expanding their lead. Jamestown made it to the NAIA National Tournament last year. Alexis Martinez, a tough move inside against Sparby. Alexis able to go and get it in the basket. Nice jump ball by Shayla Dean on the drive by Michaela Orr. Possession arrow points to Bellevue. So the Bruins showing those little glimpses still of good offense and good defense, but Jamestown has made more of those plays today. Walker will bring it up court. Crossover dribble against Woodside. Pesky Woodside on defense, and pesky Orr as well on defense as they try to hound the Bruin guards, bringing it up court. That foul will go against Michaela Orr. Now 3 personals against her. Morgan Cuff, the Bruins' leading scorer today, tries to go to the left side of the lane. Cut off there. Her bounce pass is kicked. Trying to get it inside to Walker, cutting through. Bellevue basketball with 22 seconds on the shot clock. Back into the game comes Jenna Doyle, the 6'3" junior from Princeton, Minnesota. Oh, Jamestown has got some quick guards. They also have some big-bodied girls down low as well. Referees have a word with Doyle and Martinez as they're trying to elbow each other for position. Walker drives, gives to Martinez. She drives, blocked inside. Defensive play by Jenna Doyle just into the game. Out of bounds, it'll be Bellevue basketball. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Dean to trigger it in. Bruins trying to free somebody in. Nice save of the basketball by Woodside. Initially touched by Novak. Emmel gets the lane. The shot off a couple of hands. It'll be Jamestown basketball underneath. Lee Curtis checking back in for the Bruins. Hey, we did get a text here, Julian, listening in from Ypsilanti, North Dakota. We love our Jimmy, Michaela Orr, and enjoying your great coverage. Well, thanks for the compliment, and all the Jimmy fans listening in today have got to be enjoying the ball game as they've taken control of this game in the second half. Missed shot, now the three-point attempt from the corner. That's off the mark on the attempt by Paige Emmel. So thanks, Michaela, folks, listening in up in Ypsilanti. The fun word to say, again a block inside by Jenna Doyle. Doyle with a couple of nice defensive plays. Woodside inside to Doyle. It's kind of fun to say. Woodside inside. Doyle off the glass and in. Jenna Doyle banks one home. Doyle now with 8 points for the Jimmies. Riley McCartney over near Dave Denley. Works away and forces the shot in traffic. No good. Now the Bruins are just trying to do too much individually. Trying to get back into this one. 7:20 remaining. Baseline drive by Emmel. No good. Nowak there to pick it up. Outside to Woodside, and she bangs home another three. Bryn Woodside now with 18 points, including 2 trays on the afternoon. Timeout called by Bruin head coach Dave Denley. I think he kind of senses that the Bruins are trying to put too much into individual work, try to get back into an offensive flow as a team. 7:11 remaining, 57-32 our score. The lead has grown to 25 points. Not very fun being on the bottom side of a large margin like this, so I think Coach Denley just trying to get his team to get mentally focused. 7:11 remaining, probably not going to overcome a 25-point deficit at this point in the time remaining, but keep your composure, keep playing hard, try to work on some things. Again, it's the second year of the Bruin program. It's a work in progress against a very tough opponent this afternoon in the Jamestown Jimmies. Timeout concluded. It'll be Bellevue basketball. Again, pressure by the Jimmies. Lee Curtis bringing it up court. Now she'll hand it off to Jamie Winkler. Back into the game to Taylor Cormier, also back in. Kristen Voyle in with the basketball to Morgan Cuff. Cuff, kick out pass to Cormier. Nice ball movement. Voiles puts it on the floor. Down to Curtis. Winkler. Crossover dribble into the lane. Kick out pass. Shot clock down to 2. Morgan Cuff. Shot off the back of the rim. Lee Curtis with the board. To Voiles to Winkler. Back inside to Curtis. Cuff. The drive inside. Loses the handle. Gets it back. Fresh shot clock, so the Bruins still have plenty of time. Cuff, inside drive, bodies bump, shot up again. Deflected by Jenna Doyle inside. It'll be Bellevue basketball off of Doyle's hand, so the Bruins have 11 seconds remaining on the shot clock, 6:21 in the game. Trailing by 25 points. Voiles. Winkler. On the drive, high arcing shot over the top of the defenders, but it misses everything. Shot clock down to 2. Voiles has to shoot it. Not going to get it off. 30-second shot clock violation. Well, the Bruins did a good job of working the ball around, but couldn't get off any kind of a really effective shot on that trip down. Allison Jablonski with the basketball. Buffetta, back to Jablonski. Back to Buffetta, trying to look inside. Morgan Cuff doing a nice job preventing the inlet pass, and a foul is going to be called away from the basketball. And let's double check who that is on. That's going to go against Emma Storr, her first personal foul. Storr just checked back into the game recently. 5:48 to go. 25-point lead again. Pressure in the backcourt. Winkler, ill-advised pass into the middle, stolen away by Jablonski. Left-handed shot by Storr, no good. Jablonski with the rebound. She's fouled by Morgan Cuff, trying to go back up. So free throws upcoming for Allison Jablonski, the 5'11 sophomore. 3 points for her on the afternoon. 18 points for Bryn Woodside. Bruins did a good job of keeping her in control the early part of the game, but she has gotten over her season average in that second and third period. First free throw's good, 58-32. Woodside with 18, Orr with 9, Doyle with 8, Emmel and Nowak with 7 apiece, leading scorers for Jamestown. Bellevue basketball, Winkler. That save just near the sideline. She's harried by Buffetta. To Cuff, back to Winkler. Jamie drives right side, misses the layup on that right side, and the rebound pulled down by Jablonski. Second half has been controlled by the Jimmies. That pass inside kicked by one of the Bruins. Cassidy Hubbs checks into the game for Bellevue for the first time tonight. The 6'4" senior from Glenpool, Oklahoma, joins the Bruin defensive end here. Walker, Winkler, Cormier, Voiles, and Hubbs, the 5 Bruins on the floor right now. 5 minutes remaining in today's game. Inside pass and shot left-handed off the glass, but not down. Jory Mullen unable to connect. Here's Kristen Voiles leading the Bruins charge up court. Voiles, the Reno, Nevada native. Here's Taylor Cormier trying to get the Bruins into an offensive flow. Cassidy Hubbs on the high post. Cormier left-handed shot off the glass, up and in. Taylor with the basket. Cormier now with 5 points. Another left-handed shot. This one off the arm of Jory Mullen. Offensive rebound and putback by Sparby. Hubbs makes a defensive play along with Voiles. Baseline drive is cut off. High pass to the outside. Corralled by Mullen. To the outside. Three-point shot is good. That basket by Emma Storr as the Jimmies continue to pour points into the hoop. Now 7 3-pointers on the afternoon for the Jimmies. Taylor Cormier being hounded in the back court by Storr. The ball goes out of bounds. It'll remain Bruin basketball. Into the game for Bellevue comes Riley Galvin. First time checking in for her tonight. Also coming in is Marilyn Mosina. And also Bailey Petzel checks in. So some fresh faces on the floor for the Bruins here. Into the hands of Mosina. She gives it off to Winkler. Again, Jamestown, that tough man-to-man defense. Tipped around, battle for the ball across the way. Now it's a rugby scrum, and they'll call jump ball, and possession arrow pointing to Jamestown. So officially a turnover on the play. Bailey Petzold trying to corral the ball against a couple of Jimmies. They'll take possession. Now 15 turnovers against Bellevue. Not a horrible amount against this good defense, but the Bruins' inability to put in the hoop. That's been the story. Bellevue had 30 points to start this quarter, now just 34. So again, a cold shooting fourth quarter like the third. Drive into the lane. Nice entry pass and the basket. Entry pass by Lissy McCullough, the basket by Courtney Maslowski. Winkler to the top of the key to Galvin. Riley, the junior from Ceresco, Iowa, to Hubbs to Winkler. Trying to use the screen. Baseline drive is cut off. The kick out pass. Galvin, three-point attempt. It's good. Riley Galvin connects on her first shot tonight. 3 points for her. 64-37 our score. Ball up court. Set shot from Mackenzie Higlin. And the basket for 2 points for Jamestown. 66-37 with 2.5 to go. Galvin with the basketball once again. Trying to drive into the lane. Has it stolen away. And then she'll commit the foul, trying to get it back. The steal by Mackenzie Higlin. Just the second team foul of the period, so no free throws coming up. Checking into the game, Mercedes Baumgartner. First time we've said her name tonight. As reserves from both teams will finish off the final 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Baumgartner with the basketball. Now the movement to the right corner into the hands of McCullough. The drive may have been an extra step. Doesn't matter. They'll count it. Mackenzie Higlin with the drive to the basket and bucket. 2 minutes to go. Bellevue kept it close in the first half of action. As we mentioned a couple of times, that final minute or so of the second quarter is when Jamestown made a little run to pull away. Shot by Petzold, left side, left hand, no good. Battle for the ball on the floor is won by the Jimmies. They'll bring it up court. Pass to the middle. Baumgartner to the corner to her teammate. The shot off the mark on the attempt by Higlin. Cassidy Hubbs pulls down the board. The Bruins bring it up court. 1 or 2 more possessions for each squad. And this one will be in the books. Not a very crisp pass that time by Mosina. Stolen away. Driving down floor is Schmidt. Her bounce pass is kicked. .104 remaining in this one. Again, we invite you to come on back for the men's game. That'll take place about 25 minutes or so after the conclusion of the women's game. Entry pass to Paige Schmidt, top of the key. Thought about the three. Now the baseline drive. Galvin stops that one on defense for the Bruins. With the basketball down low is Maslowski. Her kick out pass is shot off the glass up and in by Lissy McCulloch from Mountain Iron, Minnesota. 40 seconds remaining. Score of this one's going to look ugly. Cassidy Hubbs with the shot. Rattles that one home from about 10 feet away. Cassidy with the first basket of the game. 30 seconds to go. Baseline drive. That one's too strong. The follow is knocked out of bounds. Good defensive play by Bailey Petzold to knock that one away. 24 seconds remaining. 70-39 our score. The Bruins with only 6 points in the third period, 9 in this one, as the Jimmies continue to pull away. About a 2-second differential between game and shot clock, so Jamestown can hold for 1 shot if they'd like to. Inbounds to Maslowski. The turn, left hand, too strong. Hubbs pulls down the rebound. 10 seconds remaining. Bruins will get the last shot. Winkler drives it up court into traffic, splits defenders. Shot won't go down. Hubbs to follow. It won't go down as well, and there is the final buzzer. Our final score this afternoon in the women's side of things, the Jamestown Jimmies 70, the Bellevue Bruins 39. Second half, the Bruins just didn't have a minute tonight to come back for the upset win against the number 6 rated team in the NAIA Top 25. Just a cold shooting night for the Bruins. They played pretty good defense. The Bruins were in the game in the first half, but the third and fourth quarter, offensive output by Jamestown just denied the Bruins any chance. Bellevue shooting just 24% on the afternoon to 41% for Jamestown. Not going to win many games with the differential like that.
No, I mean, you can't take away from Bellevue. They played a great first half. I mean, their defense was outstanding, but Jimmy's just, they might well, they won the whole game. They played, just outbeat them in the second half, and one of the biggest factors was kind of the turnovers and the points off of turnovers. 26 points off of turnovers. Bellevue had 17 turnovers. Rebounds, Jamestown beat them on rebounds from 47 to 36. Even the bench, Jamestown's bench had a great game as well. They had 26 points off the bench to Bellevue's 10. I mean, overall, it was a good game by the Jimmies. You can't take anything from them. Bellevue just had a little mistakes here and there, but hopefully they pick it up by the next game.
Jamestown showed why they are the number 6 rated team in the NAIA. With the victory, Jamestown now goes to 17-2 on the season. They remain undefeated at 6-0 in the North Star Athletic Association. With the loss, Bellevue drops a game under 500 at 9-10 on the season, and at 500 in the league at 3-3. Leading scorer, Morgan Cuff for the home team Bruins with 10 points. Alexis Martinez and Lee Curtis each with 8 points. Taylor Cormier with 5. Riley Galvin, Beth Walker with 3 points apiece. Cassidy Hubbs with 2. Nobody else in the scoring column for Bellevue tonight, so a limited scoring output from a limited number of people. That hurt the Bruins' effort. For the winning Jamestown Jimmies, it was Bryn Woodside. Their leading scorer on the season came up with 18 points to lead the way, the only double-digit scorer for Jamestown. Michaela Orr had 9. Jenna Doyle had 8. Paige Emmel and Marina Nowak each had 7 points. 5 points for Allison Jablonski, 4 for Mackenzie Higlin, 3 for Maya Buffetta, 3 for Emma Stone, 2 for Lissy McCulloch, 2 for Jory Mullen, 2 for Courtney Maslowski. So a lot of Jimmies in the scorebook this afternoon.
Yeah.
Your final thoughts here, Julian, before we close it out on the women's portion of this afternoon's activity.
I mean, it was a good game, first half. I mean, but it's all about who wins the second half. And Jamestown had a great game. It's nothing you could really do about that one.
Short and sweet. All right, that'll do it for things for right now. For women's coach Dave Denley, for athletic director Ed Lahotek, for our production crew Yago and Bailey, thanks for their efforts again today. For Julian Rivera, the color guy, Mick Krupski here, play-by-play. Come on back in about 20 minutes or so, and we'll have men's action for you, the Bruins and the Jimmies. Keep it right here for that on the Bruin Sports Network.